The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I had a chance to watch an absolute legend of this sport fight this weekend. And no, I'm not talking about Canelo Alvarez, okay? All respect to Canelo. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the five-time, in my Booker T voice, the five-time world champion, Katsunari Takayama, an absolute legend of the sport, a guy that I've admired for many, many years, and I was so honored to be at his fight with Elwin Soto because you guys know, for those of you who really follow me, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Roman Cholatito Gonzalez, and anybody who's played a significant role in his career, I'm fans of them as well. So I'm a fan of Gaio Estrada. I'm a fan of Caliafai. I'm a fan of Brian Valoria. I'm a fan of Akira Yagashi, which also means I'm a fan of Katsunari Takayama. Now I'm gonna get to his fight with Elwin Soto in a minute because it was great and it's definitely worth talking about. But like Takayama, when he fought Cholatito, you gotta understand that was one of the toughest fights of Cholatito's career. And if you're somebody who hasn't really studied his career and you've only watched like his fights at 112 and 115 when he came to America, then you probably don't understand what Cholatito was actually like in the minimum weight division. But like at 105 pounds, Cholatito was a monstrous puncher. And Takayama fought a young Cholatito, I think it was like in his 24th fight. Cholatito was 23-0 with 20 knockouts going into that fight. And that was one of the toughest fights for Cholatito. And you can see why if you watch the Soto fight, because back then, with a younger Takayama was extremely quick. He was moving in and out. I mean, he looked like the freaking Energizer Bunny. So if you guys watched him fight for the first time this week and you thought he was fast against Soto, imagine what he was like in his younger days against Cholatito. Cholatito had to really, it was very hard to find Takayama in that ring. And Takayama is one of the only guys in the history of Cholatito's career that can claim they went the full distance with Cholatito, let alone a prime Cholatito at 105 pounds. So just, that's some food for thought if you guys don't know much about Takayama's career. But this fight was just magnificent to watch because, I've heard a lot about Elwin Soto. He's been getting a lot of hype in the 108-pound division. So this was really my first time seeing Elwin Soto fight. And I was excited about it because I knew that Takayama was going to come to fight, considering the stage. Now, you got to really respect Takayama because Takayama, he had one little stay busy fight last year, but before that, he hadn't fought for about a good 5 years since 2016. So he was already semi-retired. And factor in, he's 37, he's inactive, and he's fighting at 108 pounds, which is not his natural weight class. His natural weight class is 105 pounds. He's not a very big guy, and he's taking on a very young, strong champion in Soto, because Soto's 24 years old. Young and strong, developing, getting into his prime years, right? So he took this fight on 1 month's notice, and I knew for a fact, because Takayama, when he came out with his entrance, I don't know if they played it on the zone, but when he came out with his entrance, this man came out to Rocky. It was gonna be blood and guts. It was gonna be the fight of his life. When he came out to Rocky, I said, "Oh, here we go." I said, "War Takayama, he coming. War Takayama, Japan, stand the hell up." Takayama wasn't coming all the way from Japan to Texas to the Cowboy Stadium just to get slaughtered by no damn Elwin Soto. And you just knew, I knew at least, when Takayama came out that he was going to go in there and give the best performance he could at the stage of his career. And this was going to be his moment in the sun against a young, strong, formidable champion like Elwin Soto. So Takayama in this fight, he was getting touched up early in the first couple of rounds, and it looked like he was going to get out of there real quickly. And I'll be honest with you, I think the main reason he was getting touched up so much early is because of the ring rust. If Takayama was match fit and Takayama was boxing frequently, Elwin Soto I don't think would have had that much success, because you saw as the fight wore on and he settled into a rhythm. He didn't win a whole lot of rounds, but he was very hard and very tricky to find in that ring, very hard to hit. And honestly, he's 37 now. I think a younger Takayama would have beat Elwin Soto, to be honest with you. A younger 31, 30, 29-year-old Takayama would have taken Elwin Soto to school, because you saw how tricky he was. You saw how hard he was to hit as that fight went on, and he got better. And unfortunately, Lawrence Cole bailed out Elwin Soto in a major, major way. I mean, in a major, major way, he bailed out Elwin Soto because Elwin Soto, being 24 years old, being a strong young champion, fighting a guy like Takayama, an inactive, old 37-year-old fighter who's not even a 108 pounder. He came up in weight, and he had all that success against you. He saved Elwin Soto from getting criticized more than he was already going to get criticized. And you know what's crazy? People in the crowd, because I was there, people in the crowd, for the most part, weren't really too receptive to any of the fights on the undercard. You know, nobody cared about Keyshawn Davis. Nobody cared about Kelvin Davis. A couple of people cared about Frank Sanchez. Nobody cared about Conway versus Sissoko. But this fight right here, Takayama was the only fighter on the undercard that wasn't Mexican that got a raucous ovation. I mean, this guy, he won a lot of the crowd over in defeat, mind you, against a Mexican fighter. So think about that. This guy was getting all this love from the crowd, you know, because when he got stopped, you know, he started shadow boxing and he was doing his thing. And, you know, Takayama was really, he really showed himself to be someone that is a true warrior, a testament to this sport. And a lot of people became fans of him that night. And, you know, if that's his last fight, I want to congratulate Katsunari Takayama on a great career. I've been a fan of his for the longest. And I was just honored to be there. Like, honestly, you won't ever catch me saying this about too many fighters, but I was honored. Like, I was truly honored and humbled to be at this man's fight. Because, like I told you, I'm a huge, you guys know how much I love Cholatito. So if I love Cholatito, I have to love the guys that made him who he is. And this guy is one of the guys that made him who he is. And he's always presented himself as a fantastic fighter. He's always given us great performances. He had that really great fight with Francisco Rodriguez in 2014 where he came up short in that one. That was a great fight as well, a classic. So if you haven't seen that one, go watch that one as well. Takayama's the truth, and there's no two ways about it. And I'm just happy that people got to find out who he was, even if that's his last fight, and nobody's gonna see him fight again. You know, I'm glad some people got to know who he is, and he gave people a moment to remember him by, and he had his moment in the sun because he deserves it, man. Soto, getting back to Elwin Soto, you know, I've heard a lot about him, but I haven't really watched him fight or taken the time to watch him fight a whole lot. I'll be honest with you. If I'm Elwin Soto, I would duck the living hell out of Kenshiro, because if he fights the WBC champion, 18-0, 10 knockouts, Kenshiro is going to beat the brakes off Elwin Soto. Beat the brakes off of him. No chance. Elwin Soto got no chance against Kenshiro. Kenshiro going to splatter that dude all over the canvas, because we saw an old and active Takayama darting in and out, you know, being real tricky. If Takayama would have had a little bit of power on his punches to get Soto's attention, would have been a much different fight, and Soto probably would have been going home with a loss and losing his title. But the referee Lawrence Cole bailed him out. You know, Takayama deserved to go out on his shield. I truly don't think Soto would have stopped him, because Soto had him hurt quite a few times and got up to a blazing start in the fight. And the longer the fight went on, the trickier it seemed Takayama got for him. So I wasn't too impressed with him. But this video ain't about Elwin Soto. He'll lose his title eventually to Kenshiro or someone like that. This video is about Takayama. War Takayama, bro. When he came out to Rocky, I knew he was coming for that smoke. I knew Takayama was gonna come to put this dude to get the best fight he could, and he did. And I was very disappointed with Billy Joe Saunders quitting on the stool against Canelo, and I was also not too happy about Frank Sanchez's opponent quitting as well. There was a lot of quitting going on that night. And then, you know, Kelvin Davis, Keyshawn's brother, didn't perform too well. He got dropped by a nobody. Keyshawn Davis did all right, but I wasn't too thrilled with his performance either. Who else fought on the card? This to me was the highlight of the card. Takayama in defeat. Yes, he was losing a lot of the rounds. It was a lopsided fight on the scorecard, but he was very game. It was very tricky when you consider the circumstances and you consider everything being stacked against him. Takayama performed well, and he had fun while doing it, and boxing fans appreciate his attitude and his approach to the sport. So Katsunari Takayama, God bless you, champ. I tip my cap to you. You will always have a fan in me here on True School Sports, and just thank you for a fantastic career. 5-time world champion, one of the hardest fights for Cholatito Gonzalez. put on a show at the Cowboy Stadium. May God bless you. May God bless your family. May God bless the country of Japan for producing such a great fighter. You know, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What did you make of Katsunari Takayama's performance against Elwin Soto? And, you know, just, yeah, leave all that down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.